You ever wonder why the fool always sits at the table but never gets to play? Why people see you as entertainment, a pawn in their little games, while they pull the strings and laugh from the shadows? You're the one who trips on the banana peel, the one who slips on stage, but they never ask why the banana was there in the first place. They never think about who put it there. You see, being the fool, it's just the mask. The real game, that's played underneath, in silence, in shadows, where no one's looking. But let me guess, you don't think you're the fool, do you? No, you're smarter than that, right? You've got plans, ambitions, dreams. You think you're better than the rest of them because you can see through their little lies. But here's the kicker. If you're not playing the game, you're the one being played. Every single time. You're like a deck of cards in someone else's hands. They shuffle you, deal you out, and you just follow the rules. A spade is a spade, a heart is a heart, right? Wrong. The real winners, they're the ones who flip the deck. They're the ones who decide that the Joker isn't just a wild card. It's the whole damn game. You think that's harsh? No, no, no. Let me explain it to you. You're walking around holding on to this idea of fairness, thinking the world owes you something because you've been good, because you've played by the rules. But fairness? That's the biggest joke of all. It's the lie they tell you to keep you in line, to make sure you stay in your place while they climb higher. Fairness is just a leash with a pretty name. Let me give you an example. Picture this. There's a man, hardworking, honest, always does the right thing. He gives, he sacrifices, he bleeds for the people around him. And what does he get? Betrayal, abandonment. He's left in the dirt, while the ones he helped climb on his back to reach the top. They don't even look down. They don't care if he's dead or alive. They just keep climbing. And then there's another man, a schemer, a manipulator. He doesn't give, he takes. He doesn't sacrifice, he steals. And guess what? He's the one who wins. He's the one with the money, the power, the respect. Why? Because he understands the game. He knows that morality is just another mask, just another lie to keep you weak. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to become a monster. I'm telling you to stop being the prey. Stop letting them clip your wings and tell you it's for your own good. Stop letting them laugh at you while you dance to their tune. You want to know the truth? The truth is, they don't respect you. They never will. Respect isn't given, it's taken. It's carved out of stone with bloody hands. It's earned through fear, through power, through making them see that you're not the fool they are. You ever notice how the ones who talk the loudest are usually the weakest? They puff out their chests, make big promises, But when the chips are down, they crumble. That's because they're all show, no substance. They wear their confidence like a cheap suit, hoping no one will notice the cracks underneath. But you've got something they don't. You've got the pain. Oh, pain. That's the real teacher, the real motivator. Pain strips away the illusions, the lies. It shows you who you really are, what you're really made of. And you're still standing. You've been through hell, and you're still here. That means you've got something they can't take away, something they fear. But here's the thing, pain is only useful if you let it be. If you sit there and wallow in it, if you let it break you, then you're no better than they are. But if you take that pain and turn it into fuel, if you let it sharpen you, harden you, then you become unstoppable. You become the storm they never saw coming. You ever heard of the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Yeah, sounds nice, doesn't it? But let me ask you this. Who said it? Someone who's been through hell? Or some suit behind a desk trying to sell you a self-help book? Because here's the real deal. What doesn't kill you doesn't automatically make you stronger. No. What doesn't kill you leaves scars. Deep, ugly scars that remind you every single day of what you survived. But those scars, they're not weaknesses. They're weapons, if you know how to use them. Let me explain it to you this way. Imagine you're in a dark alley. A pack of wolves surrounds you. They smell fear. They thrive on it. You're bleeding, tired, ready to give up. What do? You've got two choices. You can lay down, let them tear you apart, and become another victim. Or you can show them the scars. Show them you've been here before, that you've faced worse, that you didn't just survive, you thrived. That's what life is. It's a constant battle, a never-ending alley full of wolves. And the second you show weakness, the second you hesitate, they'll pounce. But if you stand your ground, if you bare your teeth and let them see the fire in your eyes, they'll think twice. They'll realize that you're not the prey, you're the predator. But you're not there yet, are you? No. Right now, you're still stuck in their game. You're still trying to play by their rules, hoping that if you're just good enough, quiet enough, patient enough, they'll let you win. They won't. They never will. The house always wins, kid. And the only way to beat the house is to burn it down. You ever play chess? They tell you the king is the most important piece, but that's another lie. The king is weak. He's slow. He hides behind his pawns while everyone else fights his battles. You know who the real power is? The queen. She moves freely, strikes without warning. And then there's the joker, the wild card, the piece that doesn't even belong on the board. That's you. That's where your power lies. You've been trying to fit into their little game, but you don't realize that the game is rigged. They've already decided who wins and who loses. And you're not even on the list. So, what do? You flip the board. You rewrite the rules. You stop trying to fit in and start standing out. But let me warn you, that's not easy. The second you step out of line, the second you challenge their system, they'll come for you. They'll call you crazy, dangerous, a threat. They'll try to drag you down, break you, make you doubt yourself. But that's when you know you're doing it right. That's when you know you're getting under their skin. You ever notice how people love to point fingers? They love to blame others for their problems, their failures, their misery. It's easy, isn't it, to say, it's their fault. They did this to me. But let me tell you something, they didn't. You did. Yeah, you heard me. Every decision you made, every step you took, led you here. And until you own that, until you take responsibility for your own life, you'll never be free. Freedom, real freedom, isn't given. It's taken. It's earned. It's looking the world in the eye and saying, you don't own me. It's carving your own path, no matter how bloody or broken it gets. And yeah, it's lonely. It's dark. But it's real. And that's worth everything. Let me tell you a story. There was a man, just like you, lost, confused, stuck in a world that didn't care about him. He tried to be good, tried to fit in, tried to make people like him. And they chewed him up, spit him out, and left him to rot. But he didn't break. No. He picked himself up, dusted himself off, and started laughing. Not because it was funny, but because he finally got it. He finally understood that the joke was on them. That man, he became unstoppable. He stopped caring about what people thought, about their rules, their opinions, their lies. He became the storm, the chaos, the one thing they couldn't control. And you know what happened? They feared him. They respected him because they knew they couldn't break him. That's what I'm offering you, a chance to be that man, a chance to stop being the fool and start being the master of your own game. But it's not for the faint of heart. It's for the ones who are willing to bleed, to burn, to rise from the ashes, stronger than ever. Because let me tell you something, the world doesn't need another fool. It needs a storm. And you've got the fire. You've got the scars. You've got everything you need to burn this whole game to the ground. You ever notice how people like to tell you who you are? Like they've got you all figured out. They slap a label on you, shove you in a box, and expect you to stay there. They call you weak, lazy, stupid, or worthless. Whatever fits their little narrative. And you believe it. You let their words sink in. Let them carve their lies into your soul until you can't tell the difference between their opinions and your own thoughts. But let me ask you this. Who the hell are they to define you? Who gave them the right to decide what you're worth? The truth is, they don't know you. They don't know the battles you fought, the demons you faced, the nights you've spent staring at the ceiling, wondering if it's even worth it to keep going. They see the mask, but they don't see the scars underneath. You want to know a secret? They don't want to see the scars. They don't want to know how strong you really are because it terrifies them. They're scared of what you could become if you stopped listening to their lies, if you stopped letting them control you. They need you to stay small, stay quiet, stay in your place. Because the moment you realize your own power, that's the moment their world falls apart. Think about it. Look at the people who've made it, the ones who've climbed to the top. Do you think they got there by playing nice? By following the rules? No. They got there by breaking the rules, by refusing to be boxed in, by taking what they wanted without waiting for permission. And yeah, they probably got called a lot of names along the way. Selfish, ruthless, heartless. But you know what they didn't get called? Weak. That's the game, kid. That's the real game. It's not about being liked or accepted, it's about being respected. And respect doesn't come cheap. It comes with blood, sweat, tears, and the kind of pain that most people would rather run from. But you don't get to run. You don't get to hide. Not anymore. You ever hear the phrase, fake it till you make it? That's the biggest joke of all. You don't fake anything in this life. You fight for it. You earn it. And sometimes, yeah, you lose. But losing doesn't make you a loser. Giving up does. Letting them win does. You've got to understand something. The world isn't fair. It never has been. And it never will be. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can stop wasting your time waiting for justice, waiting for someone to come along and save you. No one's coming, no one cares, and that's your greatest weapon. Because when you stop expecting help, when you stop relying on others, you become dangerous. You become untouchable. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a battlefield. On one side, you've got the people who play by the rules, who stick to their safe little paths, who never take a step unless they're sure it's the right one. And on the other side, you got the outcasts, the rebels, the ones who've been burned so many times they don't even feel the flames anymore. Which side do you think wins? The one with the rules? Or the one with nothing left to lose? You've been playing on the wrong side. You've been waiting for permission, for approval, for someone to hand you the keys to the kingdom. But that's not how it works. The keys aren't handed out. They're stolen. They're pried from the cold, dead hands of the ones who thought they could keep you locked out. Let me ask you something else. What scares you? Failure? Rejection? Pain? Let me tell you something about fear. It's just a shadow. It's a whisper in the dark. A lie your mind tells you to keep you from stepping into your power. Fear is the leash they use to keep you tame. But here's the thing about shadows. They disappear when you face the light. You think I don't know pain? You think I haven't felt the sting of betrayal, the weight of loneliness, the ache of knowing that no one will ever truly understand you? I know it better than most. But you know what I did with that pain? I turned it into fuel. I let it burn away everything that wasn't real, everything that wasn't strong, until all that was left was the fire. And that's what you need to do. You need to stop running from the pain. Stop numbing it. Stop pretending it doesn't exist. You need to face it, embrace it, and let it shape you into something they can't break. You ever see a diamond? Beautiful, isn't it? Strong, unbreakable. But you know how it's made? Pressure, heat, darkness. That's you. You're the diamond. You've just forgotten how to shine. They'll tell you it's impossible. They'll laugh at you, mock you, try to tear you down. But remember this, their laughter is fear in disguise. They laugh because they see your potential, and it scares the hell out of them. They laugh because they know that if you ever stopped doubting yourself, you'd leave them in the dust. What are you waiting for? Permission? Approval? Forget it. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need anyone's approval to take what's yours. You just need to decide. Decide that you're done being the fool. Decide that you're done waiting for the world to hand you what you deserve. Decide that you're ready to step into the fire and come out stronger. Because the truth is, being the fool was never about weakness. It was about hiding your strength until the right moment. And now's the time. You ever think about the masks people wear? I'm not just talking about the ones on their faces. I mean the ones they live behind, the smiles they force, the laughter they fake, the lies they tell, to make everyone believe they've got it all together. It's all a performance, a charade to hide the fact that they're just as broken, just as scared as you are. No, but here's the difference between you and them. They're slaves to their masks. They wear them so long, they forget what's underneath. You've been the fool, sure, but the fool knows the mask is just a mask. The fool knows the truth. You ever wonder why they hate the truth so much? Why they bury it under layers of lies, distractions, and empty promises? It's because the truth is ugly. It's harsh. It forces them to see themselves for what they really are. Weak, fragile, insignificant. And that terrifies them. But you're not like them. You've seen the truth. You've lived it. You've felt it in every betrayal, every heartbreak, every moment when the world showed you its darkest side. And instead of running from it, you've carried it with you. You've let it seep into your bones, into your soul, until it became a part of you. You know what that makes you? Dangerous. Because the ones who know the truth, the ones who faced it and survived, are the ones who can't be controlled. They're the ones who can't be silenced, who can't be bought, who can't be broken, and that's what they fear most. Someone who refuses to play by their rules. You ever notice how the ones in power, the ones who claim to have all the answers, are the most desperate to keep you in your place? They tell you to stay in line, to be grateful, to accept the scraps they throw your way. Why? Because they know that the second you realize your own worth, the second you stop playing their game, it's over for them. So, what's stopping you? Fear, doubt, guilt? Let me tell you something about those things. They're not real. They're chains. Invisible chains they've wrapped around your mind to keep you from rising up. But chains can be broken. You think I don't know fear? I know it better than most. I've stared it in the face, laughed at it, let it try its worst. And you know what I learned? Fear only has power if you let it. It's like a shadow. It grows when you run from it, but it disappears when you stand your ground. Let me give you an example. Picture a lion in a cage. It's been there so long, it's forgotten what it means to be free. It's fed, watered, safe, but it's not alive. It's surviving, not living. And the second that cage door opens, what do you think it does? Does it run? Does it escape? No, it stays, because it's been conditioned to believe that the cage is all there is. That's you. That's what they've done to you. They've made you believe that the cage is your home, that the scraps they throw you are enough. But I'm here to tell you, it's not. Freedom isn't safe. It's not easy. It's not comfortable. Freedom is dangerous. It's messy. It's full of risk and uncertainty. But it's also the only thing worth fighting for. You want to know what separates the winners from the losers? The winners are the ones who are willing to risk everything for what they want. They're the ones who look fear in the eye and say, "You can't stop me." They're the ones who take the hits, endure the pain, and keep moving forward. And you've already taken the hits. You've already endured the pain. So why stop now? Why let them win? You've got something they'll never have. You've got the scars, the experience, the knowledge of what it means to fight and lose and get back up again. You've got the fire. And that fire, that's what makes you unstoppable. But fire is useless if you don't let it burn. If you keep it locked away, hidden, it'll consume you from the inside out. But if you let it out, if you let it blaze, it'll destroy everything in its path. It'll clear the way for something new, something better. You think destruction is a bad thing? It's not. Destruction is the first step to creation. You can't build something new without tearing down the old. You can't become who you're meant to be without destroying who you were. That's the game, kid. It's not about being perfect. It's not about being good. It's about being real. It's about owning your pain, your flaws, your darkness, and using them to create something that can't be broken. Because the truth is, being the fool was never a weakness. It was your greatest strength. It was the disguise that let you see the game for what it really is. And now it's time to take off the mask and show them the real you. You ever sit back and watch a puppet show? The way the puppeteer moves the strings, makes them dance, gives them voices. The audience laughs, cheers, claps, but no one ever thinks about the strings. No one ever asks who's pulling them. They just accept the show for what it is, a distraction, a pretty little lie to keep them entertained while the real work happens behind the curtain. That's life. You're the puppet. The strings? Oh, those are the rules they've wrapped around you since the day you were born. Be polite. Follow orders. Don't ask questions. And the puppeteers? They're the ones in control. The ones who've convinced you that this show is all there is. But what if I told you something? What if I told you the strings aren't real? What if I told you the only power they have over you is the power you give them? The second you stop believing in the strings, they disappear. The second you stop playing their game, the show falls apart. But here's the thing about breaking free. It's not quiet. It's not easy. It's not clean. It's messy, loud, chaotic. It scares the audience. It terrifies the puppeteers. Because when a puppet cuts its strings, it doesn't just stop dancing. It becomes something else. Something they can't control. You think that's harsh? You think I'm exaggerating? Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a man who's spent his whole life doing everything right. He works hard, follows the rules, keeps his head down. And what does he get? A mediocre job, a pile of debt, and a hollow smile from people who wouldn't spit on him if he was on fire. Now, imagine another man. A man who doesn't give a damn about the rules, who takes what he wants, who refuses to play the part they've written for him. Sure, they call him selfish. They call him ruthless. But you know what else? They call him successful, powerful, free. That's the choice you have to make. Are you going to be the puppet dancing to their tune? Or are you going to cut the strings and write your own story? Because let me tell you something, the world doesn't care about your intentions. It cares about your results. You ever see a wolf in the wild? It doesn't beg. It doesn't apologize. It takes what it needs to survive, and it doesn't care what anyone thinks. That's how you have to live, not like a sheep, waiting for someone to lead you, but like a wolf, carving your own path, unafraid to take what's yours. But let's be real, it's not going to be easy. The second you step out of line, the second you refuse to play their game, they'll come for you. They'll call you crazy, dangerous, a threat to the system. And they're right. You are a threat. Because you're proof that their system is a lie. that their rules are just chains meant to keep you in your place. But you know what's stronger than their chains? Your will, your determination, your refusal to be controlled. That's what scares them. That's what makes you unstoppable. You ever wonder why they spend so much time trying to keep you down? Why they go out of their way to make you feel small, insignificant, powerless? It's because they know the truth. They know that if you ever realized your own strength, their whole system would crumble. That's the real game, kid. It's not about money or power or fame. It's about control. It's about keeping you in the dark, keeping you afraid, keeping you weak. But the second you stop playing their game, the second you decide to take control of your own life, you become something they can't handle. You ever see a storm roll in? The way it starts small, just a whisper of wind, a flicker of lightning on the horizon. And then it grows, it builds, it becomes something unstoppable, something that tears through everything in its path. That's what you are. You're the storm. But storms don't apologize. They don't ask for permission. They don't care about who gets in their way. They just are. And that's what you need to be. Not a victim, not a pawn, not a puppet. You need to be the force of nature they never saw coming. Because let me tell you something, the world doesn't owe you anything. It's not going to hand you what you want on a silver platter. If you want something, you have to take it. You have to fight for it. You have to be willing to bleed for it. And yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be messy. You're gonna lose people, opportunities, parts of yourself. But in the end, you'll come out stronger. You'll come out free. What's it going to be? Are you going to keep living for them, playing their game, following their rules? Or are you going to step into the storm and show them what you're really made of? Because the truth is, being the fool was never about weakness. It was about waiting for the right moment to strike. And now's your moment. You know, there's something beautiful about chaos, something pure. It doesn't pretend to be something it's not. It doesn't wear a mask or follow the rules. Chaos just is. And once you embrace that, once you let go of all the lies they've fed you, you'll finally see the truth. The world isn't black and white. It's not good or evil. It's a game, and the only rule is this: win or be crushed. So stop waiting for the right moment. Stop waiting for their approval. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need their validation to rise above the ashes. All you need is the will to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep burning until nothing can hold you back. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who they think you are. It's about who you decide to become. Remember this: the fool was never just a fool. He was the wild card, the game changer, the one they underestimated until it was too late. And You've been the fool long enough. Now, it's time to take off the mask. Step into the storm and show them what lies underneath. Because the real game, it's just begun.